This is Christian Ackerman with Fast Coast Productions and the Fast Coast Film Academy. Got a couple things coming up pretty soon. I have classes going on through the Bitterroot College. You can go to our website or go to the college website and register for Cinema Media 101. And I'm the instructor for that class, and we'll be teaching from concept to distribution with filmmaking. The whole process of filmmaking is like an overview of this is what you do, here's after you get it done, this is how you put it out in sites to monetize it, that kind of thing. So we're going to be talking about that, but primarily what steps you need to do to get it done. And it's a hands-on class, so that's going to be going on. Right now, it's almost midnight, like 5 till midnight, and I'm in my home office right now working on SPACELOCK, and it's been about 2 years now working on SPACELOCK, and there's so many effects. It's funny when I look at all the effects I'm doing on it, you can't even tell. This is just like a few seconds in a scene. These are just certain layers, and then within these little modules there's other layers and other details and other things that I've been working on. So it's I've been putting this thing together, working on this thing. Can't believe it's 2 years. It's gone by so fast. Probably because I've been having fun working on it. It's actually been kind of therapeutic. Like I always describe to people, it's like working on an old car you have in the garage, and there's so many people that helped you get it to be what it is, and now they're waiting on you to do the little touch-ups and all the major editing and all that kind of stuff to see what happens, because it's kind of like when you filmmake on, it's a little different than if you filmmake with like a budget and you have a schedule and all that kind of stuff. There's very similar things. It's filmmaking. You run into logistic problems and scenarios where you have to kind of think on your feet and make quick decisions if some plans are altered or changed drastically, but you have to stay the course and stay on deadlines. That's like a budget project. I've worked on those where you have a high-end client that is paying you lots of money to get a job done, which is, it's fun because it's creative. At the end there's a deadline, and also at the same time they may just take a few months or a month or within a year to get done, depending on the size and the scope of the project. This is definitely a passion project, so it always gets pushed to the side because it's a no budget project. But it's funny calling these no budget projects because they actually help me get better at what I'm doing, and also network with people and work with people, and also practice what I'm doing, and I'm able to stay creative. And I think it's therapeutic because it's something I can have something to go to at the end of the night to work on and mess around with and just kind of play and diddy-daddle. But I'm now getting to the point where I'm starting to see the movie, and that doesn't make sense to a lot of people who haven't really filmmake. You know how films are made, but when you actually do it, there's this like process of making the movie. There's the script, which in this case changed many times, especially due to situations we had on set, or that I noticed that wasn't working, or just the normal things. But we got the movie shot and filmed. This is SPACELOCK I'm talking about. I don't even know if I mentioned what movie I'm working on. SPACELOCK, I've been working on it for 2 years. I think I mentioned that. A little tired. I was actually on somebody else's shoot today. I work as an actor, and I was hired to play a historical figure in a piece. So I'm rambling, but basically when you're working on a movie, it takes time. It's a passion project. It takes a lot of time to get done, and I've been working on this thing for a long time, and I go in, I work, and then I'll see like the same mistakes I'm doing, same exact mistakes, and I'm like, then I'm proud of myself when I kind of like overcome it. There's some that I can't overcome, but I think this one is gonna be a little different. I think there's gonna be some things that kind of show, yeah, it's an independent film, but then there's gonna be some parts of it that are really gonna wow people, like, wow, that looks really good, and all that kind of stuff. So right now I'm just kind of like making the movie. The one thing in this film, we encountered some major changes. Like I made major changes because I understood it, I could do it, and make it make sense. And then we had some unforeseen major changes that just happens when you're making movies like this with like no budget, like a limited budget. It's basically the budget is you volunteers and people showing up. But we had some major things change, and so that caused the film to also take a certain turn and look. So it's almost like, this is the artist in me, it's almost like when fate happens, or the things that are out of your control kind of just happen, it makes you make a creative decision. So it actually creates the look, or the look, overall look, and what choices you're making with what you're doing with the film. And it kind of gives it this like time capsule, like, of the moment. I don't know the word I'm thinking of, but it does give it its own like soul, or I'm sounding like I'm getting too deep, but it does give it its own feel and look. All the stuff that is unseen, that's happening behind the scenes to make the film. So, and I noticed that too on all other movies, and watching behind the scenes and watching films. I've been doing that to just keep on staying positive and in the realm. I'm going to be watching one film tonight that Danny Boyle did, called 28 Days Later, and I really enjoy that film because he shot it on these XL1s, Canon XL1s, which are like basically DV cam tape cameras with DSLR lenses you can put on to them, basically interchangeable lenses. They were like the awesome camera for like a split moment in time. And then they had like a knockoff, like they had a smaller version called the GL2, I think. And you can interchange lenses. I remember everybody bought those cameras, and they were like filming their movies and stuff, and they put their movies out. And I remember when that was happening, it seemed like a lot of people I knew either got their hands on one or bought one, and they were filming movies, and they're making really cool stuff with them. And I remember going, oh, I wish I could get a camera, like a good camera. I just at the time didn't have the money. All I had was my Digital 8 camcorder. And I was telling a friend today on set, one of my friends, about this. Like, I don't know how it came up. Somehow it got me on the subject, but because I do that, I tend, like even in this, I tend to get on little tangent thoughts. But I remember that moment when I shot my movie, this movie that took me a while, like this movie is. It took me a long time because it was just a passion project. Life would happen. I would pick and choose my battles, like, and prioritize the more important things, because the movie right now is on a computer and life is still happening outside in the real world, while in its little movie world it can wait and sit, for so long. And everything goes by. It's like a time capsule. And I felt like when I remember that movie, the 28 Days Later came out, and those cameras were the big thing. I remember I was like, oh man, things are passing by. But then I realized, I was like, what? Danny Boyle's shooting on XL1? And then I found out, I think he shot a movie. But anyways, I was just amazed that he could have used a studio camera, used the big cameras and shot it on film, which film was still the big thing then. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to shoot on these XL1s. And then they shot some of it on some other Canon model cameras too. And when you watch it, it looks awesome. But because you know now, if you know it's a DV cam tape, it's videotape, digital videotape, it's like, oh, you can totally see it. It's low quality, but it gives it a cool look. And it still looks great. And it doesn't matter what tool he had. He just told a story with the camera. I remember that, and remember putting those two things together, like me and just having the camera I have and feeling like, oh, I can't be like the rest of them. I'm always behind. I don't have enough equipment. I don't have enough power to get through this. Plus, it's taking me forever to get this movie done, and nobody takes me serious, or the people I are great and they want to be helping out, but then again too, it's all new for them too, so it takes a little more time to make the movie because they're learning, and you're having to teach them to do things, and sometimes people don't trust you because they've never understand the process, and you have to communicate and build trust, and it's filmmaking for sure. Oh yeah. And I remember thinking like, wow, he did that with that digital camera, and I have a digital camera. I'm just gonna keep making my movie. But then it was hard because people would say, oh, you're filming on a video camera? Oh, okay. Or they'd ask me, what are you shooting on? And I'd hate that question. And after I saw the Danny Boyle thing, I was like, I'd tell them, I'm shooting on this. And then sometimes I would show them what I'm working on, like the trailer, and then they wouldn't know what I was shooting on because at the time, HD was just becoming more prevalent. Well, it was around for forever, but it was becoming more standard, more accessible, and, to consumers and pro consumers and stuff. So it wasn't just in the pro market anymore. And so even the place I worked at, they converted all to digital tape, which was HD digital tape, and I remember I still have this digital 8 camcorder, Sony digital 8 camcorder. It's still at Vasco's, still sits up by my desk. I shot this movie, Wisconsin Project X, and we were just having fun with it, and it got picked up by a distributor, and then was released like everywhere, and it was like we even made the newspaper and all this kind of stuff. All those people that were making fun of me felt so good, and two, it felt so good that even the people I watched that had those cool cameras and stuff, their films never went anywhere. I don't even know where they went, but my film went somewhere, and I was so proud of that. It was a proud moment because I felt like nothing. I felt like a loser, and there's been a couple moments like that, and I'm glad I had that moment of it's okay. It's like a true artist moment. It's okay to just have these tools and use the limitation to your power so that you can tell a story that you want to tell. So it's like you're not really limited, you're being resourceful, taking what you have and using it. And I did that, and then I remember that movie came out, and it's like history kind of repeats itself. You learn a lesson, like, no, that's not really happening. I'm learning more with the tools I have, and then when I get those better tools, I'll even be really ready for the next step in projects I do. And so I'm really created this film school for myself, like a self-made film school. This last October, we got picked up by distribution about 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. And then it was released, I feel like it was released like a few months later or something like that. I'll have to look at that when the actual release happened. And that was amazing. We got on Netflix, and it was a big deal. And it's still out there. And a lot of people don't like it. And then YouTube became bigger around that same time, started growing. around 2010. I think it was 2010. About 2011, YouTube was doing more, and then a few years later, I think it was put on a YouTube channel, some horror channel, and it has thousands of views and tons of positive feedback. It's so great. Sometimes I have to just go to that channel and just read those positive feedbacks. And we're planning on going to release it on our channel for like a 10-year anniversary special edition. With also, I'm going to try to do a retrospective piece on it as well, because it started everything, all Fast Coast Productions. And then there's another film too that we'll be looking at that happened a long time ago, and that's a 20-year anniversary, I believe, coming up soon. And it's a short film I did that, if it wasn't for that film, I probably wouldn't be doing films right now. I'd be doing something else. So but I don't know, just had to share that while I'm here late at night. Just waiting for a little render here. Need to take a little break from working on SPACELOCK. Thanks for listening to me, guys. This was Christian Ackerman's, wow, an actual vlog this time. Well, I guess I vlog a little bit here and there, I guess. This is a Christian Ackerman vlog on SPACELOCK here, Fast Coast Productions, Fast Coast Film Academy. I'm Christian Ackerman. I'll see you in the movies.